Dog, this episode was lit! Yo, Sanjay Uche here, people, and I'm bringing you my review on Dragon Ball Super episode 104. And literally just coming off the episode, I've got to say I absolutely love it. I don't care what anybody has to say, really and truly. that kind of so annoying. But honestly, this has to be the best episode of the Tournament of Power thus far, like by leaps and bounds. I'm not even joking. This episode was legit. But yes, but before I get into it, as usual, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video, and let's get right into it. So, of course, this episode mainly centers around Hit and Goku. So by extension, Universe 6 and 7, they're ace players in right there against the Pride Troopers in the form of Dispo and Kunchi, if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, so that's basically the plot of this episode. So basically an action heavy episode. Getting some of the generic review stuff out of the way, the pacing of this episode was pretty decent. Characterization was nothing, I guess, world breaking. Everybody was on point where their characters were concerned in terms of their portrayal. That was good. Now this episode, honestly, what really makes it stand out from every other episode in the tournament, for me personally speaking, is that it's just the logic. The episode flows well logically. Like every movement, every action taken by the characters in the fights in this episode, there's a logic behind. There's just a lot of context behind every move that's taken. So getting right into it, Hit versus Dispo. So in this episode, we learned that Dispo, what makes him incredible is that he can alter the speed of his movements in an instant, basically beyond the speed of light, essentially. So that definitely throws Hit off initially. In addition to this, we also find out that Dispo, well, it's implied because of his ears, can detect the vibrations when individuals are about to make certain movements. So he knows about Hit's time skip. And it's pointed out in the episode, which I absolutely loved, that Hit basically tenses up a bit for an instant before he actually time skips. So Dispo takes advantage of this and attacks Hit before he actually manages to perform the time skip. So there was that, and I loved it. Like it just made perfect sense. Like I'm saying, oh shit, this is going pretty well. And this definitely gave Hit a bit of trouble initially. And I'm while you're watching the episode, and I'm remembering the whole Goku versus Hit back in episodes 71 and 72, and I'm asking, why doesn't Hit use that ability to kind of let things phase through him by actually just kind of going to a next dimension, kind of like come away from Naruto? So Hit basically lures Dispo into a trap, because this will hit him to the edge of the ring, and we get to see that Hit saves that move for right there. That was like the strategy in this episode was on point from Hit's side. Of course, we do get the talk of the town eventually coming in this episode, where we get to see Super Saiyan God Goku finally coming, like literally out of nowhere. This is after Hit almost tricks Dispo into leaving the ring, but Kunchi basically grabs him with his key lassos and brings him back into the ring, and they're there beating Hit, and Goku comes to his rescue. Now Goku comes in Super Saiyan God, and it's pretty cool to see. Visually speaking, the Super Saiyan God transformation's always been, it's just visually pleasing. It's pretty good to see. After like almost 100 episodes, it being back in the show is something very unique, to say the least. Definitely, and as expected, if you watched my video earlier today in terms of my expectations for this episode, you'll find that my prediction was right. We find out that the reason that Goku is using Super Saiyan God is because he wants to save stamina, and not only that, but he changes into blue for short instances, basically to maximize his power. What does that sound like? That sounds like the Dragon Ball Super manga. It's like they took a page out of its book, just like I predicted. And that by extension increases the rating for the episode exponentially for me because it's just logical, honestly. But my only problem with the episode, and this is what I'm talking about now regarding Super Saiyan God, and it's the same thing I said in my video earlier today, in that it's logical why he's using Super Saiyan God, but it's introduced late in the game. In contrast to the manga, where they introduced the concept of red being used to save stamina like a long time ago in the Universe 6 arc. So them introducing this now, it's good, but it's late in the game, so it makes you question all the other times Goku used blue before. So as I said, manga definitely better than anime for me, but whatever. So getting into it, we do get a bit of Goku versus Dispo and Hit versus Kunchi. Of course, we see Goku, as I mentioned, bust out blue because he gets to realize why Hit was having problems with Dispo, and Goku kind of uses Dispo's trick against him. Not really his trick, but the sense that Goku says his speed is a problem, but he attacks linearly, so like you can predict it, so he can time his transformation to blue to catch Dispo off guard. So that was perfect strategy there from Goku, saving stamina, bursting into blue. Of course, Hit busting out the invisible ki blast as well. That was a fine touch, nice nod back to stuff that was already introduced in the anime of Super before. So that was definitely well placed as well, because we had a scene where Kunchi had Hit surrounded with some key wires around the ground, but of course Hit just used the ability to use invisible ki blasts to his advantage, so that was definitely good. I must say the choreography in this episode, like, I don't know, like the logic behind all the moves the characters make, I don't know if it just makes the choreography seem all that better, honestly speaking. So there was that. I definitely like the animation. It was okay to okay plus. The art was decent too. I didn't have a problem with it. So there's that. By the end, towards the end of this episode, we do see Goku basically transforming into blue for a longer period and like literally punching Kunchi into this wall and blasting him. So there was that. That was a cool scene. I like that scene. I do like that Hit basically adapted to Dispo as the fight went on, and not on the bullshit that was going on during the Universe 6 arc where Hit was just getting stronger and stronger, but he basically started introducing feints into his fighting style against Dispo, because the logic is this: if he can predict when he's going to use the time skip, he just basically feints and he just fakes when he's going to use it and just times his attacks and counters Dispo. So that was cool. It was a combat that made logical sense. Definitely well executed. By the end of this, we do see that he uses time skip to eliminate Kunchi. So that was good. And we have Goku and Hit having this friendly rivalry thing going where they should just save their fight for later. And that's basically where the episode ends. Honestly, it is the most like, I just really enjoyed this episode, damn it. Like, it just flowed well from start to finish. That's why I loved it. Like, everything made sense. Like, this might be like the most logical episode of the Super anime today. Like, it just, like, we have an investment and it just paid off extremely well for this episode. So definitely, as I said, my only problem was the whole introducing the Super Saiyan God concept. And as I said in my earlier video, it's probably because, you know, we're introducing back, Toei wants to rack in the views, of course, and they're giving us what we want to see, like, whatever. So because of that time, it's not even a nitpick, honestly. It's just the way Toei set up the whole Super anime. So that definitely takes away from the episode for me. So definitely, I'd say definitely a 9.5 or like a 4.5 out of 5 episode. Definitely the best episode of the tournament so far. And yeah, so let me know what you thought about the episode. Rate, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out. Sanjay Uchiha, and I'll see you in the next one.